For decades, the United States has been the undisputed basketball juggernaut. Basketball is synonymous with red, white, and blue, from the legendary Dream Team to the 15 Olympic gold medals. The NBA, widely regarded as the best basketball league in the world, is at the heart of America's dominance. Historically, the NBA has chosen a select few from its home territory. In this video, we'll take a look at how international players took over the NBA. For nearly a century, American players have dominated the game of basketball on a global scale. That fact, however, is about to be completely turned on its head, as international players are now dominating basketball on the American stage. Since 1936, the United States has won gold medals in 16 of the 20 competitions. There's no denying that the pool of American basketball talent is enormous and only appears to be growing. However, in the NBA, the premier basketball league based in the United States, the top talent appears to be shifting. Two different foreign players have completely dominated the league en route to being named MVP in the last 4 years. Nikola Jokic of Serbia and Giannis Antetokounmpo of Greece have won the most coveted individual award back-to-back. Add in Luka of Slovenia and Joel Embiid of Cameroon, who have both received votes for MVP in the top 6 in the last 3 years, according to Basketball Reference. Top talent is also continuing to pour into the league. Wembanyama of France, who stands 7 feet 6 inches tall and has displayed the handles and shooting stroke of a guard, is widely expected to be the first overall pick in the upcoming draft. So maybe there is a rare influx of top talent from outside the country right now. Does this apply to other pools of star and role players in the sport? As per NBA, the opening night rosters this season featured 120 different international players from 40 different countries. When compared to the 1999 to 2000 season, only 35 abroad players were on rosters. Thanks to Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo, an American-born player hasn't won the NBA's Most Valuable Player award since the 2017-18 season. This streak is likely to continue this year, with Joel Embiid, Jokic, and Antetokounmpo as the MVP frontrunners. Since 2016-17, every Defensive Player of the Year award has gone to an international player, with Rudy Gobert winning 3 and Antetokounmpo winning 1. This year, the odds makers see a two-man race between Gobert and Antetokounmpo. Last year, Antetokounmpo, Jokic, Luka, Embiid, Gobert, and Kyrie Irving were named to an All-NBA team for the first time. 6 international players competed in this year's All-Star game: Antetokounmpo, Jokic, Embiid, Gobert, and Andrew Wiggins. Overall, 15 international players from 12 different countries participated in All-Star Weekend. The NBA's opening night rosters featured a record 121 international players from 40 countries, marking the 8th consecutive season with at least 100 international players on NBA rosters. Foreign talent is being sought in other leagues as well. Look no further than NIU's men's basketball team, which currently features Nigerian Oluwasegun Durosimi, Swiss Yannick Konan Niederhauser, and Lithuanian Armandas Plintauskas. All three are young and exciting new additions to the team, bringing international experience with them. The influx of international talent has also left its mark on how the game is played. One look at modern basketball, and you'll notice a lot more small ball spacing, pacing, and passing than even 10 years ago. This type of play is common in international leagues. The days of foreign players being questioned and booed on draft night and during recruitment pressers are likely over. Talent from outside the United States may be catching up quickly and attempting to take over. The first notable foreign player was Hakeem Olajuwon, who had spent 4 years in the American college system at Houston. Detlef Schrempf and Rick Smits, 2 other well-known international players who played 4 years at the University of Washington and Marist College, did the same. Oscar Schmidt of Brazil was the first international player drafted by an NBA team, being selected in the 6th round by the New Jersey Nets in 1984. However, he had no desire to play in the NBA. The NBA did not have its first player come directly from Europe to America until 1985. In the 7th round of the 1985 draft, The Phoenix Suns selected 6'8" Bulgarian center Georgi Glauchkov. The man, dubbed the Balkan Banger, made his NBA debut 5 months later. Glauchkov had 7 points and 4 rebounds in 11 minutes of action against the Atlanta Hawks. With all eyes on him, he's off to a good start. Glauchkov, unfortunately, burned out spectacularly. The language barrier proved too difficult, and it was long suspected that a combination of steroid withdrawal and Glauchkov's insatiable appetite for both American junk food and women was too harmful. In any case, the NBA's brief encounter with a European-trained player was disappointing. Extraneous circumstances beyond the NBA's control also posed a significant impediment. Scouts from the United States were unable to access roughly half of Europe and Asia. The former Soviet Union and the United States were still figuring out a minor issue: the struggle between communism and capitalism for global dominance. It wasn't until the fall of the Berlin Wall that the NBA began to accept more foreign players. After Dirk Nowitzki became a star for the Dallas Mavericks, the floodgates opened. With his unprecedented blend of outside shooting and footwork, the soft-shooting 7-footer astounded fans across the country. Suddenly, everyone was on the lookout for the next Dirk. Everyone was looking for the next European sensation. The foreign extravaganza peaked in 2002, when the Houston Rockets selected Chinese center Yao Ming first overall, making him the first player from outside the United States to be selected with the #1 pick. Of course, nothing was perfect. The Detroit Pistons infamously passed on Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh in 2003 to select Darko Milicic second overall. Nicolas Skidishvili also struggled for the Denver Nuggets. Nonetheless, the early returns were encouraging. Nowitzki, Yao, and Gasol were all elite big men, and Ginobili and Parker helped San Antonio win 3 titles in 6 years. Peja Stojakovic and Zydrunas Ilgauskas, both drafted in 1996, became multiple-time All-Stars and played in the NBA for multiple seasons. Fast forward 2 decades, and every NBA team now has an international player on their roster. In fact, the 3 best players under the age of 25 are all foreign-born: Greece's Giannis Antetokounmpo, Serbia's Nikola Jokic, and Cameroon's Joel Embiid. For the time being, the 3 biggest names are Jokic, Antetokounmpo, and Embiid, but they aren't the only ones. They are followed by Luka Doncic and Ben Simmons, with Pascal Siakam, Kristaps Porzingis, Buddy Hield, DeAndre Ayton, Domantas Sabonis, and Lauri Markkanen not far behind. If Canadian basketball is included, Jamal Murray and possibly R.J. Barrett can be added to the list in the future. Of course, without the assistance of American colleges, many of those players would not be where they are today. It should be noted, however, that neither Jokic nor Antetokounmpo spent any time in America prior to joining the NBA. Embiid, too, spent little time in the United States before joining the league. For the first time, the future of basketball lies not with Americans, but with the rest of the world. 5 of the last 10 first-round picks were born outside of the United States. A foreign country is home to 24.5% of all NBA players. The league's most promising young players will not be representing Team USA anytime soon. This is not to say that the United States is running out of talent. America is still on top of the basketball world right now. Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum are 2 of the league's most promising young players. The vast majority of NBA players are still born in the United States. And of course, Zion Williamson will be making his own mark on the basketball world very soon. However, the United States may not have the best player in the FIBA World Cup for the first time in history. Because of Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic, the United States will not even have the second best player. And with the rise of Luka Doncic, America may be without the best player for some time. In 1992, the legendary Dream Team set out to completely destroy the rest of the basketball world. They're possibly the most dominant sports team in history, outscoring opponents by an average of 44 points per game. The United States, on the other hand, will never be able to replicate that devastating romp around the world again. In the years since, the rest of the world has dragged itself closer to America's level of play. One day, Another country will emerge that is talented enough to compete with the best that America has to offer. When that day arrives, the greatest era in basketball will officially begin. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. Subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We'll see you with another interesting video.